You guys had 5 turnovers. Pretty pleased with that when you look at overall defensive effort?
Yeah, I was happy with that part of it. Guys played hard, got the ball out. We probably should have scored one more, I thought, if the guys would have done exactly what we're coached to do. A lot of stuff to fix, a lot of stuff to get better at, but I was pleased with the turnovers.
What jumped out in terms of things that worried you or concerned you most?
From the game?
Yeah.
Just like I think Mo said the other day, we talked about it. There was a lot of motion stuff going on. I didn't think the communication was good enough. I didn't think our eyes were good enough when people were moving around. So just eye control and communication were the things that concerned me most.
In general, when you look at Colorado, what's your initial scout?
Well, I mean, the one fear is you don't know exactly what they're going to do. You got one game of work. You can look back at some of the other places the coordinator was at and see what they do, but you got only a small body of work to work with. And then obviously I think Laviska Shenault probably is or the top wide receiver in the country. I think Steven Montez is a really good quarterback that's got a lot of experience. And they also got a couple other receivers that can make it work. So I think their personnel is a concern, and then not knowing exactly what to get ready for is a second concern.
The variety of ways they use Shenault, they line up in a lot of different spots. How much pressure does that put on the entire defense as a whole, not just the second?
Yeah, I think it's where's Waldo, right? You got to know where that cat's at. And just because you know where he's at doesn't mean you know what's going to go on, but you always have to understand where he's at and how we can, work our calls to benefit us when he's in the slot, when he's at X, when he's in the backfield, when he's at tight end. But we got to know where he's at.
Erik, what concerns you the most about Montez?
I don't think he's a flyer, but he runs it efficiently. He's got some quarterback runs designed for him, and he can make those work. He can get out of the pocket, but I think the thing that he does best is he runs that offense. Shenault is an unbelievable player, but Montez makes that thing work. He controls the offense. He can make all the throws. He made some unbelievable throws last year against us. So, we've got to keep him in the pocket. We've got to make some hard throws on him. We got to get some pass rush and get our hands up. But he's a good player.
You guys got a lot of pressure on him last year. How important is getting in his face early and throwing off that rhythm a little bit?
Yeah, I think getting pressure on anybody's, important, especially when there's a good receiver out there, right? You can't let somebody sit in the pocket and just have clean throws. So we've got to be able to get home with 4, with 5, with 6. We've got to be able to get home no matter how many we send. I like our defensive line. I think they have a good offensive line, but I like our defensive line right now. They're doing some good things. So, it's going to be important to get push that pocket.
There are three new starters in that linebacker, a couple in the secondary. How do you feel like those guys in particular perform?
Who are you talking about? Colin?
Yeah, any of them that stood out to you? The 2 outside guys, Colin, the safeties. What were your impressions? Did anybody stand out to you on that?
Yeah, well, obviously Cam Taylor and Eric Lee had some pretty big days. So I was listen. I'm super proud of Eric Lee. When we got here, there were some growing pains with a lot of guys. All he's done is work, and he's made himself into an unbelievable football player. He's a great teammate and a great guy to be around, and I was happy as heck for him. Cam Taylor, first quote-unquote start, even though he played last year. He played like a vet. Colin Miller played really good, I thought. Who else is new? Yeah, Alex probably had his best game as a Husker. He pressured the quarterback quite a bit. He was dead on his assignments. So I like where those guys are at. We need to get better. Those guys, I think it was important for them to get a good game under their belts, get a little confidence, and hopefully this week they can play even faster and even harder.
Cam Taylor wasn't a guy that had played defensive back before he got here. Now he's corner, safety, head corner. What is it about him that's allowed him to just kind of play everywhere, I guess? Not really done before he got here.
Well, here's kind of what I believe right now. It used to be forever ago the best football player on the team played I-back. Now the best football player on the team plays quarterback, whether they're a quarterback or whether they're something else. I watched that young guy play. I went down a bunch of times to watch him. The coach threw him in some drills to see if he could backpedal. And because of his demeanor and his leadership, you just knew he was going to excel no matter where. You put him at linebacker, he's going to be an animal. You put him at receiver, he's going to be a really good football player. He's just the kind of guy that he's a great athlete that's got a great football IQ, probably from being at quarterback. and I think he can play any position on the field you want him at.
When you were evaluating him, did you have an idea in your head that this is where he's eventually going to end up, or what did you kind of see back then?
Well, when I was evaluating, I was saying he's an athlete on offense or defense. Selfishly, I'm kind of saying, hey, I think this guy's really a good DB, so the offense didn't steal him. But I thought he could have played receiver. He could have played running. I mean, shoot, he could play quarterback. I mean, he's probably not your drop back, sit in the pocket guy, but he could do some things at quarterback if he wanted him to.
How much does it help just having played a game going into this Colorado game as opposed to last year?
Oh, tremendously. I think, I don't know. I mean, the experts always say the biggest improvements between game 1 and game 2. And I know we'll improve. But this is going to be a big test. I mean, Colorado's a good football team. They pose a lot of problems, so we've got to be super, super sharp. And I think having that first game where you have some success on defense, but you also have a lot of things to fix, kind of lets everybody know, hey, we haven't arrived. We're not there. We need to dial this thing back, or it's going to be a long day on Saturday. So I'm glad for the success. I'm also glad of some things that we need to get corrected.
Erik, Scott said last week was not a good week of practice. You've had 2 days this week. How's it look so far?
Yeah, I mean, I thought on the defensive side we practiced pretty good. So far this week it's been really good. These guys understand what we're asking. Having those black shirt guys come and talk to them, I think that meant a lot. Just talking about day to day, not just Saturday, but day to day. How do you prepare? How do you get ready? How do you work in the weight room, in the film room? And I think this group is different than last year in the fact that every single guy is, has a learning attitude, has a workmanlike attitude where they want to get better, whatever it takes. Just tell us what it takes and we'll do it.
Scott said he has the ear of the players. Do they have their attention this week?
Does Scott have their attention?
Yeah.
This group, he has their attention all the time. They have his attention, however you want to say it. But he's always got their ear. This group is dialed in. This group saw at the end of the year last year and through winter and summer conditioning that he's got a plan for us, and that plan is going to work. So let's follow that plan. Is there going to be some bumps in the road? Yeah, there's going to be some bumps in the road. But right now, he's laid the plan out, and they want to follow it.
What did you think of the way Eli Sullivan stepped up?
Unbelievable. For that guy, I mean, it's going to be special for him. Guy from Colorado, walk-on guy, put his head down, grinded for, I don't even know, 3 or 4 years. All he does is get better and better and better and better. Through camp, he's out there making plays. He intercepts a pass with the ones, and I'm like, who is that fish? And he's like, that's Eli. I'm like, golly, he's improved so much, and I'm so happy for that guy. He made some big tackles out there, and I saw some of the stuff on Twitter. He is another coach on the field. Shoot, he corrects me sometimes. No, we did it because they had the formation in the boundary. Great, good job. You know what I mean? He studies the football game. There's never going to be a point where he's out of position, and I'm just proud of him as a kid.
How much different is Lamar Jackson from about a year ago today?
180 degrees. And he's always been a good player. There's no doubt about that. He's always had the tools. Just the attitude, the leadership, the way he wants to work, the way that he sees this is how to get better, this is what I need to do. Coach's Fish is not giving suggestions. Those are things that I have to do to be better. But it's just so much fun to be around these guys right now, including Lamar.